When you've got a home that gets blasted with bright sun all day, you quickly learn that not every plant is built for that kind of spotlight. But the ones that can turn those sunny corners into the best part of your place. Today we're talking about the tough, sun-loving plants that actually thrive where most others would crisp up. These are the plants you can put right in that hot window without stressing every morning. The kind that soak up full sun like it's their daily fuel. And if you've been hunting for something bold, resilient, and a little showy, you're in the right place. So grab your favorite drink, settle in, and let's look at the plants that genuinely love living in the sunshine. Philodendron might surprise a lot of people because while most folks think of it as a low-light plant, many varieties actually handle direct sun better than expected and grow fuller when they get bright strong light for a few hours a day. When you give a healthy philodendron at least 4 to 5 hours of direct sun, it responds with faster leaf production and deeper color because its broad leaves are built to absorb and use that energy. The key is balanced care with slightly moist soil and steady watering, since bright sun makes the plant use moisture quicker than it would in shade. What makes it even cooler is that NASA research noted philodendron as one of the plants that can help remove indoor pollutants, which means you get a tough sun-ready plant that also supports cleaner air. Sago Palm is one of those plants that absolutely thrives in strong direct sunlight because its stiff feathered fronds are naturally designed to handle intense heat and bright rays just like it would in its native tropical habitats. When you give it 5 to 7 hours of full sun each day, the plant grows faster and pushes out fuller crowns since sunlight fuels its slow but steady growth pattern. It does best in well-draining soil and only needs light watering because it stores moisture in its thick trunk, which helps it handle hot, dry conditions without stress. What makes the Sago Palm stand out is its impressive lifespan, since many of them can live for decades and even over 100 years, which makes it a long-lasting sun-loving plant with real personality. Mass cane is a solid pick for bright full sun because its thick cane-like stems and wide-striped leaves can handle stronger light than most people expect and actually develop better color when they get a few hours of direct sun every day. In sunny spots, it grows faster and stands more upright since the plant naturally leans toward intense light in its native African environment. It needs evenly moist but not soggy soil and steady watering because direct sunlight can dry the top layer quicker, though the hardy stem stores enough moisture to keep it stable during warm days. What makes mass cane interesting is that studies have shown it can help filter indoor air by reducing common toxins like formaldehyde, which means you get a sun-ready plant that also improves your living space in a practical way. Bamboo palm handles direct sunlight far better than most indoor palms because its tall clustered canes and narrow fronds are naturally adapted to bright tropical conditions and actually grow thicker and more vibrant when they get a few hours of strong sun each day. In sunny spots, it produces fresh green shoots faster and keeps a stronger upright shape since the plant uses intense light to fuel quick leaf growth. It prefers lightly moist soil and regular watering because full sun warms the root zone a little more, but its fibrous roots spread wide and hold enough moisture to keep it stable through hot hours. One of the coolest things about bamboo palm is that research has shown it can help lower indoor air toxins, which makes it not only a sun-loving plant but also a practical one for keeping your home feeling fresher. Aloe Vera is built for direct sunlight because its thick fleshy leaves are designed to store water and handle strong heat just like it does in its native desert regions where it takes full blazing sun every single day. When you give aloe around 6 hours of direct sun, it grows tighter rosettes and produces richer gel since sunlight triggers the plant to create more nutrients inside the leaves. It prefers sandy, fast-draining soil and only needs light watering because too much moisture can cause root issues, especially when the sun is already warming the pot. What makes aloe vera even cooler is that the gel inside the leaves has been studied for soothing burns and skin irritation, which means you get a tough sun-loving plant that also brings a useful natural remedy right into your home. Snake plant is one of the toughest sun-loving plants you can keep because its tall sword-like leaves are naturally built to handle harsh light just like they do in the dry open regions of West Africa where they grow in full sun every day. When you place it in direct sunlight, it actually grows faster and produces thicker upright leaves since strong light boosts its ability to store energy in those dense blades. It only needs light watering and prefers dry, well-drained soil because its roots hold moisture for long periods and too much water becomes a bigger risk than sunlight ever will. One of the most impressive things about the snake plant is its air cleaning ability, since studies show it can help reduce indoor pollutants, which makes it a nearly indestructible sun-ready plant that also supports a healthier home. Ponytail palm loves direct sunlight because its thick bulb-like base stores huge amounts of water and lets it handle hot, bright conditions just like it would in the dry regions of Mexico where it naturally grows in full sun. When you give it strong light for most of the day, it pushes out longer curling leaves and keeps a tighter shape since sunlight fuels its slow, steady growth. It thrives in sandy, fast-draining soil and only needs occasional watering because the swollen trunk acts like a built-in reservoir that keeps the plant hydrated even during long sunny stretches. What makes the ponytail palm extra fun is its ability to live for decades and grow into a striking sculptural tree, which means you get a sun-loving plant that also doubles as an eye-catching indoor statement piece. Money tree handles direct sunlight better than most people think because its thick braided trunk and sturdy leaves are naturally adapted to bright tropical environments where it often grows in full sun. When you give it a few hours of direct sunlight each day, it responds with faster growth and stronger new leaves since the extra light boosts the plant's energy production. It prefers evenly moist soil with good drainage and steady watering because sunny spots dry the top layer quicker, but its thick trunk helps store moisture so it stays stable even on hot days. What makes the money tree even more appealing is that many people consider it a symbol of good luck and prosperity, which means you get a sun-loving plant that brings both growth and a positive vibe into your space. Dieffenbachia can handle direct sunlight far better than its reputation suggests because its large patterned leaves are built to absorb strong light in the tropical regions where it naturally grows under open canopies. When you give it a few hours of direct sun each day, it produces bigger, brighter leaves and grows more quickly since intense light fuels its thick stems and wide foliage. It needs lightly moist soil and regular watering because sunny conditions warm the pot faster, but its strong root system spreads out enough to hold moisture between waterings. What makes Dieffenbachia interesting is that research has shown it can help reduce common indoor pollutants, which means you get a bold, sun-ready plant that also supports a fresher-feeling home. String of pearls handles direct sunlight surprisingly well because its round bead-like leaves are designed to store water and reflect heat just like they do in the open, dry regions of Southwest Africa where the plant grows in bright sun. When you place it in a sunny window, it grows longer, fuller strands and develops stronger color since direct light boosts its ability to photosynthesize through those tiny translucent leaf windows. It prefers sandy, fast-draining soil and very light watering because its pearl-shaped leaves hold plenty of moisture and too much water is a bigger risk than any amount of sun. What makes string of pearls even more fascinating is how each little bead can push out new growth quickly when exposed to bright conditions, which means you get a sun-loving trailing plant that stays unique and eye-catching in your hottest spots. Ficus is a strong match for direct sunlight because its firm, glossy leaves are naturally built to handle intense brightness just like it does in its native tropical regions where it grows in open spaces with hours of full sun. When you place a ficus in a bright sunny spot, it responds with faster branching and deeper green foliage since strong light fuels steady upright growth. It prefers well-drained soil and regular watering because sunny conditions warm the pot and increase water use, though its woody stems store enough moisture to keep it stable between waterings. What makes ficus stand out is how it can grow into a long-lasting indoor tree with a solid trunk and wide canopy, which means you get a sun-loving plant that brings real presence and structure to your brightest rooms. Rubber plant thrives in direct sunlight because its thick leathery leaves are naturally designed to handle strong intense rays just like it does in the open tropical regions of Southeast Asia where it receives hours of bright sun every day. When you put it in a sunny spot, it grows faster, produces larger leaves and develops deeper color since sunlight powers its strong upright growth. It prefers well-drained soil and moderate watering because direct sun warms the soil and speeds up moisture use, but its sturdy trunk and fleshy stems hold enough water to keep the plant stable. What makes the rubber plant especially appealing is that it can grow into a tall, impressive indoor tree over time, which means you get a bold, sun-loving plant that adds both height and style to your brightest spaces. Umbrella plant is a great match for direct sunlight because its glossy umbrella-shaped leaf clusters are naturally adapted to bright open environments where it grows in strong sun for long hours. When you give it full or partial direct sunlight, it responds with faster branching and thicker foliage since intense light boosts its energy production and keeps the stems growing upright. It prefers evenly moist, well-drained soil and steady watering because sunny spots dry the top layer quicker, but its woody structure helps hold moisture long enough to stay stable through warm days. What makes the umbrella plant interesting is how quickly it can grow into a tall, multi-stemmed indoor tree, which means you get a sun-loving plant that brings height, energy, and a fresh, lively look to your brightest corners. Thanks for hanging out with me today and going through some of the toughest sun-loving plants you can bring into your home. If you've got those bright hot windows that usually fry everything, these plants are the ones that will actually thrive and make those sunny spots look alive again. I hope this helped you find a few new favorites to try out in your own space and maybe even inspired you to give that bright corner another chance. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe, like, and drop a comment because it really helps the channel grow and lets me keep making more plant guides for you.